And we're back, people. I know it's been some minutes, but me and Tristan go through some things. And this happens. But your favorite sports podcast, roaming the airwaves, rolling with Ramos, is back. You ain't seen consistency since you've seen the show. It doesn't matter how long we're off. Episode 159. I'm the one that holds the last name Ramos, as I always do. I like to specifically always thank my daddy for that one. Mike Ramos in heaven, I love you every single day. Another football season. I miss you. Again, episode 159. This time we were coming through your airwaves like a Pittsburgh Steeler. I know we about an hour from Baltimore. We ain't worried about that. Episode 159, the Jack Ham edition. Tristan, your face is beautiful. What's up?
What's going on? Definitely glad to be back on the air. It's been a minute. Life be life, y'all. Life be life. Like, we're human. But as they always say, the show must go on. So it's good to see you, Mikkel. I'm excited to get into it. We got NBA, NFL, WNBA. It's a lot happening. So let's do it.
The time of the year where it all collides. We just waiting for October where it all collides and we just feel so beautiful. The MLB playoffs. There's so much forward to look on. Now, this woman here, I don't care if my 20-year high school reunion is tomorrow. I'm still a young whippersnapper to a lot of people, okay? And this woman right here, since the moment I met her, has always taken me under her wing. As my years progressed, I only hope that she's proud of my own personal progression. I only hope to stand by you, stand with you, not behind you anymore, but next to you.
Hey. Thank you all for having me on. And look, kudos to you because, look, you're standing beside all of us. You're not standing behind us or anything like that. You're right there with us. So glad to be kicking it with you all. A fun time is happening.
She is the co-host, reporter, Pro Football Plus, Mid-Atlantic Sportsnet. And if you like a book or two, she wrote one, In a Minute Sports. Also, Getting to the Other Side of Victory. That was the book. Go buy it. Whatever. All right, so I had all this stuff planned, right? And some news happened in D.C. that was big. Some would say that I said it first, because I'm saying I cleared it first. I don't care. Shout out to who was that made that viral. You did great. You gave me a great summer. But anyway, some would say I alluded to it first. But here we are. 80 catches, 1,000 yards last season as a Patriot. Some would say we don't know if we're talking about Stephen A. Smith. Some would say we don't know what he has in store for us, but I think that says a lot. Stephon Diggs signing a 1-year deal with the Washington Commanders, a deal up to $12 million. Welcome home. 942 receptions, 1,343 targets, 11,504 yards, 12.2 average, 74 touchdowns on his career. He has more career receptions, guys, than the rest of Washington's wide receiver core combined. Number 58 on the best offensive skills players list in the NFL. That core that he beats as far as receptions includes, we love a scary moment, but Terry McLaurin, 498 receptions. Van Jefferson, 166 receptions. De'Ami Brown, 79 receptions. Traylon Burks, 63. River Craft, that's a beautiful name. 32 receptions. Luke McCaffrey, 29 receptions. Jalen Lane, 16. Antonio, Chris Hilton, and Jaden. And Nick, we're not going to put much on them, but, they're rookies. 0. The Washington Commanders' new look offense is as follows, okay? Okonkwo, Terry McLaurin, Jaden Daniels, Stephon Diggs, Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt. Shout out to Bill, okay? You're never that name. You're always Bill, our good friend. First of all, before we go into the parameters of this trade and what it means for the offense, Donna, you've been at these practices. I was in Connecticut when we had the year of our lives. So I wasn't even home to be able to experience seeing the Commanders on the WMATA buses, the metro train, being able to see the vibrance in the city. I get home, A couple injuries. Terry's not signed when we need him to get signed, and the nucleus is gone. Jaden gets hurt, and the season is what it is. Coming into this season, Terry's healthy. The contract is inked. Jaden is happy. He's healthy. He's looking a little bit bulk. I kind of wish we would have kept Debo, but that doesn't change a lot of things. The aura going into this season feels like the Commanders want to show that, yeah, the last year happened, but a year ago is really who we truly feel that we are. When you're at these practices, take us into how these guys are walking into these new beginnings. How they feeling?
Hey, you know what? When you win 5 games in a season after you almost go to the Super Bowl the previous year before last year, then it shakes you up. It basically, you have to get the attention back on this team where they can come back, establish themselves. During the offseason, they went into free agency and said, we got to get better on defense because we couldn't stop anybody. We couldn't get to the quarterback, couldn't catch interceptions, couldn't get the ball. Offense, like you said, it was a fluke year because it was so many injuries. The Commanders had the most injuries in the NFL. And I know people don't want to talk about that, but when you don't have your star quarterback for most of the year, Terry came in late. Everything was a disruption to start the season last year. So they tripped over their own feet last year. So they said, hey, we got to shake up things and we got to get better. Free agency, they brought in a whole bunch of guys up as far as the defensive line. That to me has been pretty impressive. The energy is different. You know, it's almost like, okay, we got something to prove to everybody again. So what does this Commander team look like moving forward? You get a new offensive coordinator that comes in here. You get a new defensive coordinator that comes in here. And they end up shaking up things where they look like a totally different team. I like the offensive coordinator. I like the defensive coordinator. The energy is almost like you could feel them, everybody, competition from one end to the other. Wide receiver, a lot of competition, even though you got Stephon Diggs, it's still a lot of competition of somebody trying to make this team. Running back room. I mean, you talked about Bill. We're looking at Rashad White, who they added into the backfield. Those two guys are looking exceptional. And then you get Katron Allen to replace Chris Rodriguez, because that's what he kind of like looks like. And Jayden is Jayden. Jayden has really grasped a hold from practice to practice a little bit more of that offense. And it's not going to look like it's going to look in the season because the team is still learning the new defensive, scheme, the offensive scheme. And it's not going to come overnight, but you can start seeing tweaks to that just a little bit more. And like I said, the offensive line for this Commanders team, solid. That to me was the strength of this team last year. The only thing that you can count on, and it's competition there between Chris Paul and Brandon Coleman, jarring for that guard position. You got a kicking battle between Moody and as far as Stevens, and I'm loving that. I'm loving the fact that everybody is hungry, and that defense over on the other side, they tell me everybody is made for everybody to eat, and the offense, to me, you can see the difference. They said they wanted to run the ball, and they are running the ball in practice. And Jayden is behind the center, something new from last year that was not there. So I'm liking what I'm seeing in the Commanders. And you add a Stephon Diggs. I'm gonna get you. You can give yourself a pat on the back because I saw your interview during the summer where you were talking to him, and he wanted to just talk about his foundation because that's why he was here in the DMV, but still you pressed him on there, and he's been in the area for a while. He was at University of Maryland, just happened the day before, the same day that the Commanders signed him. So I think that everybody is saying, well, are they comfortable with the wide receiver room? I just think that if you can add another piece like a Stephon Diggs, it just makes you better, along with those guys that, the Jeffersons, like you said, the Luke McCaffreys, all of those guys, Traylon Burke, That list go De'Ami Brown. This just makes that room that much more better.
Collectively, guys. Well, first of all, the mumble sauce question lured him in. I didn't think he expected something bigger than that. But anywho, does this remind you? Are we reminiscent as we start anew, but we're looking back? Does this remind you of that magical season? You know, Jaden's a rookie. You got no tape on him. You don't know what's gonna happen. And then next thing you know, he flourishes because from week to week you don't know what you're guarding. And then it's this whole new attitude. Snyder's gone. So here we are again, where Jaden's hurt. You don't know what he's going to do again. And now you have this new look offense where all you got to do is worry about Terry in recent years. But now if your defense goes to one side, you have just as much as the biggest explosive guy on the other side. Tristan, you can weigh on this. Donna first.
Yeah, I think that I really want people to stop talking about that year that Jaden came in and they almost went to the Super Bowl, because that team is totally different. That team does not even exist anymore. And Kingsbury is not here anymore. The defensive coordinator is not here anymore. The Commanders have a really new team this year. A lot of the old faces are gone. You look at the backfield. Bill and Jeremy McNichols are the only ones from that backfield from a year ago. So I literally closed the door on that first year, Jaden's first year, because Jaden has grown from last year, from that first year to this year. You spoke about the new offensive scheme. The offensive scheme allows so many things to happen, and the defense over on that defensive side, because Durante Jones is throwing so much stuff at them and moving parts. That to me has made Jaden grow already from the first year, from last year when he barely plays, because he's had to learn to be behind the center, and he's learned how to navigate with everything Jones is throwing at him. The defensive line makes them better because they are coming at him. The defense dominated the first couple of days, but it's been the offense the last 2 days, because they're starting to pick up that offense. So I would basically say let's close the pages on those first 2 years, because this is a totally different team, because you got a new offensive coordinator, new defensive coordinator, a lot of new players. Jaden is still there, but of course, Terry, you got him. But beyond that, if you look across the defensive line, pretty much new. The great thing today that happened, Trey Amos came back, which is key for that back cornerback room. That is a needed body back there. Dorrance Armstrong, who led the team last year in sacks before he got hurt, came back today. That's what's such a great day about all the comebacks and the new bodies that came. And then Tressway came back, as far as he's been out with an injury too. So, and then you got Diggs, who, I was watching. Of course, the cameras was on him because mine was on him. And definitely he just adds that swagger. They welcome him there because, when the competition comes in there, it takes either you're going to go to the next level, elevate yourself, or else you're going to be left behind. So even though Diggs has come in there and we know what he could do, I don't know what Stephen A. Smith was talking about. We don't know what we're going to get in him, because you just read off his numbers from last year, and he wasn't getting the ball every play or in there. He got that by, half of the plays that he would have got. Let's just say if he was starting and playing the number one receiver, he would have had probably close to 2,000 yards. So he got that. So I'm not understanding how he's saying you don't know what you're getting. Yes, you do know what you're getting. You're getting a player that can play make, and he could be a number one anywhere else, but you can believe he's getting the ball. And you spoke about Chig. Nobody is saying anything about Chig. He adds another dimension to the passing game. And plus, Bill is catching the ball solid out of the backfield, something that he needed to add to his toolkit. And you know what you got in Rachaad White. So again, I would say that this is a new look Commanders team. Yeah. Can't compare them to last year, the year before, because of the new people that's running things right now.
Let me ask you this. Hometown boy, he did say to me, a lot of people think I'm never here. I'm always here. But it's no coincidence that you were here more than you normally are and being seen visibly here more. Cardi B's in PG. She's at restaurants. You know, his mom is beautiful. Trey's picking up the phone and calling Dan. University of Maryland, I had a chance to go to the community day, the cheer camp and the football camp. It gives an aura that I'm home and I'm back. Home is where the heart is always, Donna. But if you've been living under a rock, unless you've been living under a rock, you know everything that this man has faced over the last couple of years, this year and particularly personally. Some would say that coming home is a good thing because maybe you can be centered and be around your mom, get some cooking. Somebody calms down. You can obviously see that Stefan has had a year where the outside forces have had to show him that maybe he hasn't been around the best of people. Maybe there's some things he needs to calm down on. But you're also looking at a guy where some would say that could be a distraction. You come home and next thing you know, you're on U Street and you're chilling and we're seeing you out on Capitol Grill. Or people could say that even though he's a great locker room guy, this may be a distraction to the locker room. What do you say to those comments?
You got 1 year contract. So if you want more than a 1 year contract, you've got to come and play. You can't be distracted by being back home. You can't be distracted about, you know, as somebody said, sometimes you got to lose the bad company and let them go and stay focused, because you could either go the wrong way or else you can go. He said all the right things today. I love what he said today.
He's such a great interview.
Oh my gosh, he was so good. He
articulate.
He was smooth all the way around. But like he said, it doesn't matter about what he says, about what he does on the field. I was talking to one of the coaches today. They said, look, he is about ball. It's the ball. You could just tell that he has the skill sets, the talent. He makes that room better. And he really didn't even do a whole bunch. I mean, not really, because he's still learning the playbook. So he has to come up to speed. I want to really see him and this offense when they have the inter squad scrimmage in a week or so against the Dolphins. But to your point, you being back home can be a distraction if you allow it to be. Sometimes the company we keep, we got to let go of that company. It's not saying that you don't appreciate them or whatever, but you have to, as they say, you have to learn from your mistakes. You have to learn, and then you have to grow. And hopefully, you know, being in the locker room with this team and what Dan Quinn expects from the brotherhood, he's particular about who they sign in Washington. And one thing about Stefon Diggs that I like about what he did during the offseason, he closed his mouth. He didn't say nothing. He let the work be done of him getting ready for whatever team he was going to end up. Unlike the other wide receiver that said he was going to be in Washington. And he talked himself out of there by what he said, kept talking. I like to see people stop talking and just say, let's go to work and let my work be the thing that speaks to you wanting me to be on a team. And so because of that, it had to be those two players, but Diggs went to work. He was, a lot of teams wanted him. And I was just saying about the day before they signed him. Hey, he could have been a chief. He could have been, I think,
closer to a chief.
The Dolphins wanted him also. And so the thing about him is he said he always wanted to be here. He said he wanted to be here from day one. And it's amazing how things just circle around that you end up where you always wanted to be. Now it's up to him. You know, he's supposed to be a good locker room guy. And the key thing is 1 year. You have 1 year to prove yourself, because you can be out of here or not even be picked up by another team if you don't, center yourself. And I think that this is a good fit for him because of Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn, to me, is a player's coach that really gets to know his players. Tressway talked about that today, about Dan Quinn really wanting to know who he was as a person. And I can vouch for that because as a reporter, he knows people. He gets to know you as far as the people who's covering his team and everything. So Diggs to me has a lot to prove. Not saying that he is not a good receiver, but still you can only be as good as what people see in your production and what people see of how you carry yourself off the field too.
He talks about a chip. When he left the upstate New York, they were saying it's all Josh. It wasn't you. You clearly see the difference between Josh production without Stephon. Stephon goes and he's almost a Super Bowl champion. And here we are again. And the home base did something. He was around the older coaches, the people that knew him. They whipped him into shape, probably talked to him a little bit. Last but not least, before you go, everybody has a dream, guys. Everybody has one. You know, Martin Luther King, he gave us one. But and this guy's dream was to be a commander, and you alluded to the fact that he's not going to be one. Brandon Ayuk is not currently eligible to play in the NFL. He had a dream.
Unless he gets with the commissioner.
The 28-year-old former All-Pro is still employed by the 49ers, but on the team's resume, left team list. He must get official approval from the commish, Goodell, to be removed. You are my team. You are on my team now. You follow my rules. Boy, I'm a grown man. Grown boy. You gotta have to stop running your mama, and I might believe what you're talking about. Brandon Ayuk's post managed to dwindle the chances that he would wind up in Washington. That then shifted the focus to Stephon. That was Adam Schefter. You know, you can't bite the hand that feeds you. And that means the man that's going to put money in your pocket and the man that really is going to feed you because he got to give you the ball and throw it to you. You can't bite the hand that does that. You're home punching the air right now.
Hey, I said from day one, just be quiet and go to work and show them why they should want you on their team. And he did the opposite. He did so much talking that I would like, no way is he coming here. I don't even care. And this is the thing. Stephen A. Smith said that you don't know what you're going to get in Diggs. Now, what he should have said was you don't know what you're going to get in Ayuk because he's been out of football for almost 2 years. So he's coming back off an injury. So you really don't know what you're going to get with him. What receiver, after coming back from an injury, what are you going to get? Diggs, he played last year. I can't believe New England didn't re-sign him. But thank you, New England. Right. Yeah, on. Thank you. So I was surprised that they did not, for whatever the reasons are. But again, when you're trying to get on a team and it's limited numbers, they're not caring about what you did before. It's about what can you do for me right now? And he could have possibly came there, but in the same breath, would he have been a distraction for Jayden, who's trying to get up to speed with a new offense and not having time to babysit anybody? What would that look like? So again, and he's talking about, I'm not getting the ball. And then you got that distraction. So again, nobody did anything to him. He basically shot himself in the foot because he couldn't be quiet.
Well, we're going to have to let you go. This is sad. And I know when I let you go, I'm not going to see you till February, March.
No. Hit me back again.
Going on.
No,
I tried everything in my power to get in. I didn't get in, but whatever. Hopefully I can get to that joint practice. I'm trying my hardest. But anywho, the Ravens and the Commanders want a tight ship. But anywho, tell people
tight ship. And that's the other game that's going to be good. It's the last game, preseason game, the inter squad scrimmage. I was up there a couple of years ago when they had that against the Ravens and everything. And then they played it in the final preseason game because these two inter squad scrimmages is so key for the Commanders to really find out where they really are with the defense, the new scheme and the new offensive scheme, and where the players are and what still needs to be tweaked on the team. So it's going to be a lot of great players that are not going to make this team that will be somewhere else, because this is the first time in a long time that I can say it's so much competition in a lot of areas of this team, which is a good thing.
Loosely translated, all y'all relax. Everybody that's in the DMV area, just relax. What you see is not the final thing on the paper. And even when we get in the season, relax. We need some time. Calm down. Donna, tell them where they can find you, all your beautiful work. I hope to see you soon. Hope to catch up with you.
Yeah. We'll have to do this again when I have a little more time. But they can find me on Instagram, DJ Hop32, on X, Donna Hopkins _, and then In the Minute Sports, where all my content is there for practice, and then Tony McGee's Pro Football Plus, which is on Mid-Atlantic Sportsnet, Wednesdays at 10:30, Friday at 10:30, and 9 o'clock on Saturday morning. So that's where you can catch me.
Booked and busy. Enjoy the rest of your evening. I appreciate
you all
coming on our program and doing this. We got the inside. Don't ever say I ain't do nothing for you, America. Donna, have a good evening.
See ya.
Tristan, you heard it all. I figured I'd let her rock. You know why. Your turn. How are you putting together all of this? The distractions, the non-distractions. Stefan, he's a commander. The new scheme, the offense. Waiting to see it progress. This team, how it's going to look, the excitement. It's all you.
Well, I mean, she described it probably the best way that you could. I understand that, a lot of people are still hanging on that 2024 season. Yeah, it was a magical season, but a lot of things went our way as far as, the team injuries that happened to other teams, them not really being used to seeing a Cliff Kingsbury offense ran that way. I'm sure Arizona Cardinal fans were sick watching it in Washington, because that's what they were supposed to get with Kyler Murray there in Arizona. And as far as the Stephon Diggs thing go, I heard some people talk about distractions, and there's a thing where with some of these players when they're back home and they're playing back home, but Stephon Diggs has had 1,000 yards for 8 straight seasons. He's only second to Mike Evans, who did it for 10. I mean, this is a guy that is a model of consistency at the wide receiver position. He said it himself. He said, you can name some of the number ones that are in the league, the A.J. Browns, the Jamar Chase, the Justin Jeffersons. You might classify them as being the number ones, but he said, name a number 2 wide receiver better than me. And that is hard to do. So I think people forget how much of a difference maker he was, even being in Minnesota. What did he do for Josh Allen's career when he got to Buffalo? What he did for the Patriots last year. I mean, they were in the Super Bowl, and he was able to get 1,000 yards on sparing minutes, and he was coming off the ACL tear. Everyone knows that it's the year after your first year of being out of that injury where you really start feeling like yourself. So we might get the best of him on our team. So I thought it was a great signing. It was a signing. It was a signing I wanted to happen all along. I wanted Stephon Diggs even before the IU crash out on social media was happening. I wanted Stephon Diggs on the team because I felt like his personality, his heart, his passion, and his skill set is what Washington needs as a team that's getting younger, that's trying to figure it out, trying to get that dog. He's all dog. Everywhere he goes, he's all dog. He'll tell you, he runs to someone, he say, "Hey, I'm him." He believes that, and he always has that chip on his shoulder. And the way that he was emotional when he caught that miracle touchdown pass in Minnesota against the Saints years ago. The way he's always been emotional when he was with the Buffalo Bills and defending his quarterback and going hard. He cares. You think that he's not going to bring that energy times 2 to the home team? He said his mama's side of the family rooted for that team when he was a kid. He said this is he was like, Hollywood couldn't write it better. He gets to play in front of the people that cheered for him so many years ago when he was in Maryland. Like, you think he's not going to go hard for this squad the way he's done before? So I'm excited for him. I think this is the right person. I mean, yeah, I loved everything he said. Like Donna said, I loved everything he said today. Shoot, they had put on social media one of the comments. He said, And I was like, I've seen enough. Give him a 2-year extension. Like that's somebody you want to keep in the locker room. So I'm not concerned about the distractions or whatever. He knows how to lock in. He knows how to compartmentalize. He's shown it time and time again. And the fact that he's on a 1-year prove-it deal, he's not going to do anything to sabotage his chance of continuing to play in the NFL. And I hope we're the team that re-signs him when the year is up. So I think he's going to do wonders. He's going to, we know that Terry McLaurin's a dog, but I feel like there's another element in him that Stephon Diggs is going to pull out of him. She was talking about Chig and how people not talking enough about Chig. We haven't had a tight end that athletic at that position, arguably. Maybe Fred Davis, Jordan Reed, like that can really stretch the field that kind of way. So you have, and then we talked about Bill and we love Bill, but we also got Rashad White who played with Jaden Daniels. So you got a lot of good things to look at, and having Deontay Jones as the defense coordinator, another guy that is a hometown guy that rooted for this team.
Morgan State.
You know what I'm saying, and rooted for the squad, and what we used to call Brian Flores defense is controlled chaos, and that's what he's bringing over. And you see the kind of mentality that the defense even has. Sonny Styles looks like a freaking cyborg. The DBs are flying around, and like she said, having Amos back is major for the corners. Getting Armstrong back to add to the pass rush. I mean, we have a right to be excited. Now, are we saying we're going to go to the Super Bowl? I'm not saying that. Are we saying we're going to the conference championship like 2024? A lot of things will still have to go our way. But what I will say is that the team is going to make a lot of noise this season that people might not even be prepared for. And Jaden Daniels is going to be on a mission.
She spoke about Dan Quinn and how he's respected and he knows everybody. He took the time to get to know Stephon personally. Again, not to beat a dead horse, but you say this all the time, Tristan, a leader of men. Talk more about Dan Quinn and the expectation to only continue to be the Lieutenant Dan we know him to be this season.
Listen, Dan Quinn has always been that. You talk to former players. I mean, Micah Parsons even flirted with the idea of teaming up with him again. I mean, but these are how people feel about him. You talk to those guys in the Legion of Boom, they love Dan Quinn. You talk to those defenders that played, the players that played with him as when he was the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons, they love him. And it's because he genuinely cares. He cares about his players. He cares about what their lives and wants them to be men. In every facet of the word, on and off the field. And he will get personal, and he takes things personal. And I think when you have coaches that are that way, those are the ones that are always successful. You think about people like Mike Tomlin, how his players will go, run through a wall for him. You think about Sean McVay and how he wears his emotions on his sleeve and how he cares. These are the kind of people you want. Why? Because we're in this era now where we talk about all the time as millennials. These guys are not. They know they're not machines. They're not products. They understand that they get paid to play a game, but they also understand very much so that they're human. And the moment that you dehumanize them, they're not going to respond to you. And I think Dan Quinn is someone that understands that, and that's what makes him a great coach, because he understands that they are human beings beyond the helmet.
This may be a 1-year deal, but I don't hear Stephon, talking like this is where I'm at and I'm moving on. It sounds very permanent. He sounds very content.
It does. I mean, it's all about winning, though, and he's going to want to win. Now, you can't, you got to produce, and he's going to let you know if you're not. He's going to let you know if it's not going up to stuff. But I would be shocked if we have the kind of season that I think we could have, and we don't resign him to, at least another year or two. Well, he's probably not going to want another year, but maybe a 2-year deal or something.
We move on. Tristan, we didn't get a chance to talk about this, so I got to go back and pull it out of the bag because this happened a couple weeks ago, and life happens. 424 hours needed in 2010, 14, and 18 to make a decision. It only took them 516 plus total hours in 2026 to choose a team. This is my last decision. Let's see if we believe that one. That was LeBron James. LeBron James, after choosing to become a Philadelphia 76er, he did meet with the Cavs. The Clippers threw everything they could at him to get him to stay in LA. He was offered $20 million by them. He did not take it. After 23 seasons in the league, including 8 with the Los Angeles Lakers, James chose Philadelphia over Miami, Cleveland, and a long list of other suitors, agreeing to a 2-year, roughly $8 million deal with the player option for 27-28, the veteran minimum. Wow, we talking about LeBron as a veteran. I thought I was done when this season ended. I wasn't ready to announce it, and I knew I needed some time to really decide, but I was pretty sure I played my last game. I was honest at the last press conference when they lost to OKC in the playoffs, when I said I needed to look at myself and decide if I still love this game and I have more to give. The 76ers potential starting lineup: Tristan, Tyrese Maxey, VJ Edgecombe, Jaylen Brown. The Celtics agreeing, just in case y'all were under a rock, to send Brown to Philly for Paul George, 2 first-round picks and 2 second-round picks. It is also LeBron James and Joel Embiid. The 76ers title odds before Jaylen Brown signing, trade, plus 7,000. After signing LeBron James plus 1,000, it went to 70-1, from 70-1 to 10-1 in one summer. In their new starting 5, they have 36 All-Star appearances combined, 29 All-NBA selections, 11 All-Defensive selections, 5 MVP trophies, 5 Finals MVP trophies. A lot to process here. Tristan, LeBron says trust the process. For the Sixers, it's been a process that has been so long, a process a lot have checked out on at times, even the players. How do we feel about the newest part of this process? What can we expect from Philly this season? You saw what I did with that?
Well, listen, I think these 2 years, I don't like to say it because so many things that can happen, and I reserve the right to be able to change my thought. So sorry, I've been working long hours. I reserve the right to change my thought if key injuries happen or things like that. But as it stands, for the 2 years that he's potentially going to be here in Philadelphia, will be there in Philadelphia. If a title doesn't come out of that, I think it's fair to say it's a failure. Again, I reserve the right to change my thought depending on injuries or whatever. But yeah, I mean, what more? Even when I think about the Miami Heat team, I don't think he's ever had a squad quite like this. To have someone like Jaylen Brown in the wing, to have Tyrese Maxey as in the backcourt, and to be your point, but he's also a combo guard, so he can be your shooting guard as well, and very much a capable scorer. To have someone like Joel Embiid, because you have LeBron and because you have Jaylen, you have an opportunity now to not put so much demand on Joel Embiid. So if you reserve him enough where he's strong for the playoffs, oh my God, look out! I mean, who's going to stop that?
It was hard to watch him last year.
Yeah, he did everything could. Exactly. So you don't have to concern yourself with that when you got this kind of lineup. Then I forgot the rookie's name last year. He'd be at the small forward position, or at the power forward position, rather. You have a myriad of ways to put this lineup together, and you still kept some of the depth. And I think that's the thing that's really impressive, is that Philly was still able to keep some of their depth while accumulating this lineup. I just saw something today that Kevin Love might be interested to go to Philly because he wants to play with LeBron again. They might do a contract to get KCP. You get another guy that's coming off the bench as a 3-and-D guy, again, to come off the bench for you. I mean, the way it's set up, I mean, it's LeBron's never had this kind of thing to orchestrate. And then when they come out and say that LeBron is going to play a lot of the point guard position this season, so you're putting less wear and tear on him as well. And the last time he did that for a majority of the season, he won a championship for the Lakers when he played the point forward. So, I mean, this was excellent. Again, he made it friendly so that the 76ers can make more moves if they want to, give him the vet minimum. I mean, he has all the money in the world. So he just wants to close out the chapter and try to get another ring, and nothing's wrong with that. Let's see if you can get number 5.
Rich Paul says it's Tyrese Maxey's team in a crowded lineup that includes the King. Embiid said he's healthy. Whose team is it?
It's Tyrese Maxey's team.
You agree?
He's the young superstar. He's the superstar. I mean, and
he's been waiting for this moment. He calling out Joel in player-only meetings.
That's what I'm saying. This is kind of like, I'm not saying they're these guys. Let me be very clear before someone tries to chop my head off. I'm not saying they're these guys, but the story of them two is similar. It's basically like when Magic Johnson joined the Lakers. You knew Kareem was there, but this is Magic's team. It's the same thing. Same thing. They're not the same guys, but it's the same story.
12 conference finals appearances. Embiid, 10. The LeBron effect, because all that comes with it. We know. The answer, Allen Iverson, the only answer to any question that we know in Philly, especially if you're a millennial. And the fan of the Sixers says he's hyped to have LeBron join, and he is really the answer. Was also seen wearing a Jaylen Brown Sixers jersey this summer. They have 3 more times the national TV games, 20 more than the Sixers had last year. They had only 14 national televised games last year, Tristan. Kevin Hart teaching Bron Philly lingo. His pay grade looking different as it should, talking about that veteran minimum.
So,
$3.9 million. That's expected. People making the same or more than LeBron in this 2026 salary. Jose Alvarado, $4.4 million. Of course, we know he's with the Knicks. Taurean Prince, $3.9 million with the Pistons. Dalton Nett, $4.2 million with the Lakers. Coach Nick Nurse, his own coach, $8 to $8.5 million. D'Angelo Russell, $6 million with the Grizzlies. Tyron Stokes, $7 million as a freshman NIL deal. Jackson Hayes, $6 million with the Jazz. Jeremiah Smith from Ohio State, wide receiver, NIL deal, $5 million. Al Horford, 6.8 with the Warriors. DeAndre Jordan, 3.9 with the Pelicans. Ticket prices are $68 average to attend the 76ers games last season. $271 is the cheapest ticket for a 76ers game now, and it's just the preseason. That will be according to Tix Picks, that's the game versus the Celtics.
I mean, you have Jaylen Brown, who arguably was in the race for MVP last year. Basically carried the Celtics team on his back while my man was getting healed up, Tatum. You got LeBron, who's always going to be box office. You're wondering what does this mean for Joel Embiid, because he has no excuses. I mean, yeah, it's going to be must-see television every single time. They absolutely should have the TV time for this. Absolutely, it's must-see TV.
Everything that comes with LeBron comes with some agreements, and some would say comes with some backlash. Charles Barkley criticizing LeBron for always stacking his teams. He stacked his team in Miami. He stacked it in Cleveland. He stacked it in LA. Now he's stacking it again in Philly. He always has a stacked team. Kevin Durant coming to his aid a little bit. Thoughts? He had a lot to say about this trade when asked. At first, he clapped back at the haters criticizing LeBron for joining the 76ers. Y'all be too emotional. You don't know this man personally, but have personal disdain like he really beat your life up. LeBron embodies the game of basketball. I'm defending the game itself. Kobe Bryant and MJ top 5 ever, debate me. Dear fans, care less. If there's anybody that should know about going to another team and everybody talking about how you jump ship and blah, blah, it should be Kevin Durant. He was asked if the 2026-27 Sixers are better than the 2016-17 Warriors. He replied, ain't close, LMAO. What is he supposed to say? I mean, is he supposed to say, yeah, they're better than us? Calm down, people. Asked if LeBron's Sixers are contenders. He said, hell yeah, I think they're going to be a contender. Last time they put 3 20-plus point scorers on a team, they said it was unfair. Katie on if LeBron is going to the Sixers is ring chasing. Everybody in the NBA is either chasing rings, shot attempts, or money. We all know Dylan Brooks had to weigh on in. Someone that's also trying to fight Jimmy Butler. We're gonna let that slide. I think he's doing everything he can to get his last ring. One that does not have a ring. Somebody else has a lot of them how to get a ring. That comes with the territory of a decision from LeBron, right?
Listen. I absolutely love Charles Barkley, and no one can make me ever hate him. But he's totally wrong in this instance. Listen, even if that's the case, right? Even if it's the case, LeBron's chasing a ring. Who cares? What more does he have to do?
He serves his right to do what he want to do.
He could do whatever he wants to do. Why? Because he's a 4-time champion. He won a championship in all 3 of the places that he stopped. He is the all-time leading scorer in a number that he's going to put up that will probably never be touched ever. He's going into his 24th season. The man will be 42 years old. What more does he have to prove? What more does he have to do? He won the championship for the Lakers in the wake of Kobe Bryant passing away. He won a championship for the Cavaliers, went back home to win a championship for the Cavaliers. Went and made Miami Heat relevant after after Dwayne Wade established it back in 2006. Went to Miami and made them relevant for 4 years. What more does he have to do?
Yeah.
What more does he have to do? So yes, if that's the case that he's chasing the ring and that's why he chose Philadelphia, bravo.
Why not go out with a bang?
Go get your number 5. Go get your number 5, because if I can go out with one championship or maybe win back-to-back championships, maybe again, like, what are we talking about? So he could do whatever he wants. He has nothing to, for everything that LeBron was hyped up to be coming out of high school, all of the hype, all of the press, all of the expectations, he did it and exceeded it. He was truly the chosen one when he came into the league. He lived up to every bit of that moniker. So yes, at the end of his career, because he said after these 2 years, that's it. Which means he will retire at 44 years old.
The longevity alone.
All-time leading scorer, top 10 in assists, top 10 in rebounds, and the all-time leading scorer at a position that shouldn't be that way. In this era of basketball, with all of these talented players that are putting up gaudy numbers, come on, he can do whatever he wants to do.
America, this is not what you call a bust. You so used to calling somebody one. This is not what you call it. A team that, let's mosey on down to a team that didn't do much this season. The Golden State Warriors have made 0 moves this offseason, Tristan. The rest of the NBA making 80 additions. He was going to get crushed if he came to the Warriors. He went to team up with Steph. I think ultimately that weighed in on his decision. That explains why Bron wanted to play with Steph elsewhere. LeBron would have considered playing with Steph for another team besides the Warriors because of the history they have. I didn't think we were realistically in the running for LeBron. It never seemed serious to me despite all the reports. That was Steve Kerr. The first comment I made was by Draymond Green. That's why you don't envision anything until it happens. That was Steph Curry on LeBron joining the Sixers over the Warriors. The Warriors did sign Draymond to a new 1-year deal, had a chance to trade for Jaylen Brown, but there was no organizational consensus. He could lead the franchise post-Steph Per the Ringer. Warriors looking past a lot of key names, looks like it's more futuristic for them when it comes to decisions. If it doesn't make sense, then they're not going with it. What do you make of their lack of moves this offseason? No surprise that LeBron doesn't want to be a Warrior. But if they're looking toward the future, they're looking for their Luka. If we're talking about the Lakers. Am I correct?
Yeah.
After each year we finish with the Warriors and they're saying that, and Steve Kerr's pulling everybody in the huddle saying, whatever happens, happens. You guys still are together.
Yeah, I don't really understand what Golden State's really doing. I don't know if they're just conceding to say, oh, well, we got Steph Curry. Okay, and then what? Oh, we got Steph Curry. Okay, and then what? Is it's Steph Curry or bust? So are we looking at this as like when us as Laker fans were watching Kobe play, but he had people like Swoosh Parker as his teammate and stuff like that? Or is that the era we're walking into with Golden State? Because that's what it looks like.
Do you even want to remember that era?
I don't, but that's what it looks like we're walking into. Because you've made
Nick Green.
they always say something like with Steph Curry, you always got a chance, but you got to give him players to work with. He's not a spring chicken. So I don't really understand this whole logic with them of why they're saying it like this, as if he's just going to be around forever. Yeah, he'll probably shoot till he's dead.
Yeah.
He'll probably be laying in his casket, still being able to shoot a 50-footer. Like it probably would be like that. But at the same token, you got to give him things to work with. You understand when he was at the peak of his powers, you had Draymond Green, who was in his prime, Klay Thompson, Andre Iguodala, Livingston, all these cats that was on the squad to make it possible. Then you gave him KD. And now what are we talking about? Like, what's on your roster? So I don't know what's wrong with Golden State. I think they're wasting away the prime years that we have of Steph Curry left, and I wouldn't be shocked. Well, he probably won't ask for a trade, but I wouldn't be shocked if he did, to try to be a contender.
Tristan, this is the part where we close another chapter. When it comes to LeBron, we can talk about being the chosen one as far as basketball, but it's rare that we meet a guy in this day and age as not only has been the chosen one on the court or the field, but a chosen one in life. You get a chance to play with your son in his first playoff game, and he alley-oops to you. I don't nepotism at its finest. If you're a hater, just call yourself a hater. This man has built a legacy. Back in 2024, Bryce James was asked if LeBron would wait for him to get drafted to the NBA before retiring. He replies, no, he's going to be 42, bro. He didn't foresee his father being almost 42 and still playing in the league. Interesting and beautiful at the same time to even have another son and the possibility of sharing the league with him, playing with your two sons in it. We've known that LeBron's goal, if you can hear him talking, has been to play with his sons. He got it with Bronny. If he could. Bronny's a Laker. That's a beautiful thing. His pops hyped him up. A lot would say too much. He should have stayed in college. We knew about the heart incident, and maybe that changed the parameters of how Bronny thought. Maybe it was, I may not have the next time to do this. I'm going to do it now. We knew it was LeBron's dream to play with his sons. We never really truly knew if it was Bronny's dream, but he's here. The door is open. How much is the door open with LeBron leaving LA for Bronny to grow without his dad? The scrutiny of being LeBron James' son without playing on your father's team and your father standing next to him, behind him in any way. He's worn it well, but how much will we be able to appreciate Bronny and what he can bring in the game for himself and his ability to breathe without LeBron being over on the West Coast with him?
I don't know if he's gonna have the chance to be able to play with Bryce. It would be interesting to see. But the reason why I say that is because I don't expect the Sixers to be that bad, but I expect Bryce to be that good where he'll end up being in the lottery. I don't think Philly would be able to get him. I think I said this for a couple of years now. I believe that Bryce is the better player than Bronny.
Yeah.
I think Bronny is a competent, regular NBA player. I think Bryce has the capability of being a superstar. Bronny is what, 6'3" ish or whatever.
Yeah.
Good on ball defender, he has a decent feel for the game. Bryce is 6'8". Bryce is he's probably gonna fill out like his dad. Like what we thought Bronny was going to be when he had that growth spurt, it looks like it's gonna be Bryce. Bryce looks like he's going to be LeBron with glasses by the time it's all said and done and gets into that man body. And his skill set, shooting the ball from the outside, shooting in the perimeter, he has the handles. He really plays like his dad. Whereas Bronny is more of a slasher type of player. Bryce plays like his daddy, except he has a better outside shot at that age. So, Bryce. There's a couple players I'm looking forward. A couple of young players I'm looking forward going into the league. Cayenne, Carmelo's son.
He's starting to morph into him. You seen them pictures lately?
Mm-hmm. Oh, what's his name? I don't think it's Elijah. I can't remember his name, but Gilbert Arenas' boy is going to be nice. I don't think it was Elijah. I think it's something else. But Gilbert Arenas' son, he plays at USC. Bryce and Marcus Spears' son when he gets into college. Those I'm looking forward to. I'm already hyped about watching the Boozer's eldest son play. So I'm already hyped about that, watching that this season as a rookie. But I'm looking forward to these young cats coming up. So I don't think Philly would even have a way to get Bryce. I feel like Bryce will end up being a lottery pick.
Oh man. Okay, so this is my thing about this whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Anthony Davis on how many games? If we want to talk Wizards, because we can do that every now and again.
Mm-hmm.
Anthony Davis on how many games he'll play next season, Tristan? He says 82.
Yeah, I saw that, and I thought I thought someone made like a meme joke thing. My nickname for him. I love AD, but my nickname for him. 4-6.
4-6, baby.
4-6.
And then this man gets mad when I commented and I say it. You'll find it online and say, no, you did not say that, Miguel.
4-6. Every time he gets hurt, 4 to 6 weeks, guaranteed. And now, do I think he'll push himself to try to play all 82? Probably. Can I see him maybe he might get into the 70s? Maybe. I don't know. He might have found something that helps him because a lot of his injuries are like soft tissue injuries. It's not even like ligaments. It's like soft tissue stuff. So maybe he might have found something that's going to help him with that. I'm not sure, but I could see him in the mid 60s, high 60s.
Let's move on to some WNBA that continues to expand. Cleveland is the new home for the Sirens, and if you saw the picture of that, and the Sirens are chasing the sun or whatever they chase, that looked like fire. How do you feel about this expansion? How do you feel about them going to Cleveland really quickly?
I love it. Need to see more of it. Because I think it's going to be I think it's going to be awesome. We're all about it's all about the expansion.
Yeah.
All about the expanding WNBA, helping it grow, helping it. We want more of these cities to have these teams so we can have more chances to travel, have more revenue added, and all. There's so much that could benefit from that. So I'm all for it.
Angel Reese Bayou Barbie officially has her own Barbie doll. In addition to the doll, Reebok and Mattel are releasing a Barbie-themed version of the Angel Reese 1. In celebration of girlhood and women's sports, the WNBA partnered with Barbie to bring Barbie's dream house to Atlanta. This past last Monday, earlier in the week. Before the game, fans could stop in the State Farm Arena apparel store for pink merchandise, Barbie themed jerseys, and angel hats in the iconic Barbie script. There was also a station for fans to get makeovers thanks to an additional partnership with Atlanta small businesses or take a photo inside a faux doll box. And the theme didn't stop there. During a commercial break, young girls competed in a miniature dunk contest to see who would bring the Barbie home. The pregame included performances from tutu-clad dance troops and dream players warming up in Barbie-themed shirts. As players were introduced to the court, they said the iconic "Hi Barbie" line. I didn't have a lot of dolls because I didn't have dolls that looked like me so much. That's why I kind of really wanted to make sure this was super intentional. That was Angel Reese on creating her own doll. The ticket package for this game, Tristan. Atlanta Dream Game Day package with a limited edition tie-back Barbie headband with the purchase of a ticket package while supplies last, they said, was an upper baseline ticket.
Mm-hmm.
Limited edition clear crossbody Barbie bag with purchase of a ticket package. That was the upper sideline ticket. That was Barbie Game Day times the Dream Clear crossbody bag. That was the upper sideline ticket. Someone had the nerve and the audacity to say that out of all this that was happening, because her impact is being felt big in Atlanta. We know this. But she plays horribly. There is no growth. So, and they lost to the Aces that game. What do you say to that?
She's using her platform. She's using her brand to do things that she didn't see when she was growing up, to create things for little black girls that she didn't get to see. I'm all for it. The thing about Angel Reese, I think that people don't understand is she's not a bad player, but people don't like the fact that she's so unapologetically herself. And she represents herself in that capacity, and she's not going to feel sorry for that. She's going to do what she has to do. But listen, she's still creating double doubles. She still works. She's still playing hard on defense, and she knows how to use her brand. She knew she was a brand when she was at LSU, and so why not? Why not use it? Why not be there? When she went to Atlanta, I thought that was brilliant, not only for her basketball wise, but I thought it was brilliant for her outside of basketball. You're in Atlanta, of course. And I feel like she's just creating opportunities and creating spaces for people to be able to flourish. I see nothing wrong with it.
The Mystics. Asia dropped the 40 bomb. They still pulled it out. Came back to beat the Wings, who's after the All-Star break have seen a little miscombobulated. They won the other night. How fun is it to watch this young team? How much noise are they going to make if we're talking about home?
Listen, I love the way that they've been playing. They've really played hard.
And they look like they get along too.
Listen,
shout out to Sonya.
It's really a team. Shout out to Shakira. Shakira's my girl. But it's really a team effort. They're scrappy, they're tough. They play from the inside out, and even when they're down, I mean, there's been a few games where they've been down. I think this last one they were down by 20. They don't. It's never say die. It's always going for grit. And listen, that could take them a very long way going into these playoffs. Now you still got to deal with teams like the Fever. I know they had a rough loss the other night, but you got to deal with a team like the Aces. There's teams out there that you contend with, but if they have that continued mentality of being scrappy and holding their own, I don't see, sky's the limit for them to possibly make some noise in the playoffs. But again, shout out to Shakira Austin. I mean, if she's not the most improved player this year, who is? I mean, her 3-point percentage has gone up. She's more aggressive off the glass. She's really using her size and her body to get to the spots she wants to get to. And I didn't know she had such great vision with the ball. I mean, she'll she's been great with pick and roll. She gets herself into the paint and kicks it out in spots where her team can get involved. She's doing excellent.
Basketball in the city, football in the city. Everything's Everything's happening. Everything's going on.
Yeah.
What can you do?
Yeah. It's a beautiful time. It's a beautiful time of the year.
It's a beautiful time of the year. I'm gonna hold my breath to the next time I see you.
Hopefully it'll be soon again.
We have a football pregame show to do.
Absolutely.
You will get that from us.
Absolutely.
You will see that from us.
For sure. For sure. Definitely going to happen.
Hey, breaks are breaks, but we always come back.
Always come back. Always come back.
We always come back. We always come back. I had something to say, and I can't remember. Oh, I know what I had to say.
Okay.
You think Caitlin Clark learned her lesson from trying to post up A'ja Wilson?
Listen, don't.
They said they had that play with the background music, the Loving Basketball. You made a fool of me.
I was watching that game.
Just like Monica when she bumped into Quincy.
I was watching that game, and as soon as that play happened, all I could think of, I said, I dare these referees to call a foul on A'ja in this moment. I dare them. And when I saw that it didn't happen, I said, that's what you get, Caitlin. I mean, A'ja Wilson is strong, and yeah, she does size you up. But she ain't make you fly like that to the floor.
Oh, no.
Come on.
How do you feel about, we haven't gone into much of a pretense as when it comes to her, but how do you she getting the technical fouls and all this? How do you feel about the fact that most of the animosity, most of the things that's going on, she's been the perfect cause? Because let's say that play ended up being a foul. You were already upset that it wasn't. Then you would have been upset if you got it. And the fact that people are upset that they got it called on you because of who you really, really think that you are. But that was a classic. You may think you the face of the league, and people may say what you think they want you to hear, but this is still my league.
I think the thing is like one. I've always said that people want to talk about Caitlin Clark like, oh, she's box office, oh, she's this, oh, she's that. Listen, again, like you said, as far as I'm concerned, this league belongs to A'ja Wilson. I don't care what nobody says. Caitlin Clark right now is not even the best player on her team, let alone being the face of women's basketball. But I understand she's the draw for whatever reason. You're talking about someone that's averaging almost five turnovers a game, that is controlling the ball majority of the time. Even in that situation, that ball should never been. You had A'ja Wilson on you, one of the best defenders, if not the best defender.
And y'all thought ISO
in the WNBA, and y'all thought ISO with Caitlin Clark. She didn't even look to try to give it to somebody else until the very last second. I mean, what are you talking about? You're literally dealing with a multi MVP, multi defensive player of the year. What are we talking about? So, I say all that to say this is A'ja Wilson's league until A'ja Wilson decides that it's not. And, that's probably when her and Bam eventually get married and she want to have babies. So until then, this is A'ja Wilson's league. And there's a lot of great players, but if anything, that moment showed you right there why A'ja Wilson is that girl of the WNBA. And as far as for Caitlin Clark, man, just stop with the antics and play basketball. We want to see you play. We know that you're good. We want to see you play. Stop with all these little antics and trying to outsmart the game and just play the game.
Yeah. Play the game and her coaches need to let her play the game and stop going to these press conferences talking all this. Like,
yes.
Y'all are causing the rift that she's helping to create.
Yes.
Like Donna said, we like people that shut up.
Yes.
Just play. All right. If you're sick of my voice, I don't care. But if you're sick of my voice, this is the end of the show. Tristan, is always a pleasure. Let me tell y'all how I sell you all the time. I'm McKell, like Kevin McKell. I don't give a damn if it doesn't rhyme, but if you want to get my name right, that's how you got to say it. America, season is among us. You're rolling with Ramos NFL pregame show. Oh, you're gonna see us before September such and such. Okay?
For sure.
America, good night.
Peace.